Hey guys, before I start, I just want to say I got a new camera lens and I'm so sorry if it goes out of focus. I'm just trying to figure it out. Bear with me. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. First of all, I'd love to say a huge Happy New Year to everyone. And I'd just like to take this time to say a massive thank you to everyone that's subscribed over the past year and everyone that's been here from the beginning anyway. But thank you so much for all your support. And I've really been enjoying making my videos recently. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm just really into it at the moment, and that's all because of you guys. So thank you so much for being amazing and always leaving me such lovely comments. So thank you. But yeah, I'm going to jump straight into this video because I have a feeling it might be a little bit of a long one, but I'm going to try not to ramble. Basically we're going to be going through all the products that I loved throughout 2015. So no December favorites this time, just because I'm just going to wrap up everything that I've loved throughout the year in one video, so wish me luck. Another thing, these scars on my hand, before anyone comments and asks me if I've been in a fight and I've punched someone, I haven't. I'm not the type to get into fights, that's not me. I accidentally scraped my knuckles against something and it just happened to be from the middle knuckle onwards, and it does look like I have punched someone and been in a fight, but yeah, they're just little burns actually, so yeah, please ignore them. I'm going to start with primers, and I have been loving my MAC Natural Radiance Primer, and this is in the shade Radiant Yellow. It's got a bit of a yellow tint to this primer, and I really like it because it goes on super smooth. It helps with oily skin, and I have got combination skin, so an oily T-zone, and it just is really nice and lightweight, so I like that. For a drugstore option, my favorite has been the Soap & Glory Hocus Pocus primer, and I love this because it's actually a illuminating primer. It says it's a visual floor softening illuminator, and I feel that's exactly what it does. It kind of just like blurs everything out, and it gives you this iridescent kind of glow onto your skin, but nothing too intense. So I really love this. For foundation, my favorite for this year has got to be the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, and I use this in the shade Golden. I've currently got it on right now as well, so you can see what it looks like, and it has a demi-matte finish, and it kind of gives your skin this gorgeous, again, it's like a blur to your skin. It blurs out any imperfections, and it is just beautiful. It wears on the skin so well, it blends beautifully. Honestly, it ticks all of the boxes for me. It says on the bottle that it's the skin you were born to have, but honestly, it's the skin I wish I had. Honestly, it gives me the skin that I dream of. So I love it for that reason. Earlier on in the year, I did a back to basics video on foundations, all of my favorite foundations, and the right foundation shades for my skin tone, or for warmer skin tones. So if you struggle to find a foundation that suits your skin tone, that doesn't have that grayness and that ashiness to it, then check out that video, but I did mention this one in it and it was featured. For a drugstore option of foundation, you guys know I struggle so hard with drugstore foundations. They always tend to be a bit more on the pinky side, and they tend to make me look really grey and ashy, and they just don't have the right warmth in them. But I ended up finding a really good one, and it's the Revlon Photoready Airbrush Effect foundation, and this is in the shade 008 Golden Beige, and honestly it's just a dupe for the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. So if you feel like your budget's not quite going to stretch to the Too Faced one, then honestly I would go for this. It's very similar, and the colour is also great. For concealer, I have one that everyone on YouTube has ranted and raved about this year, including myself, and that is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, and I use this in the shade Medium Dark Warm, and honestly it's such a good all-in-one concealer. It's full coverage, it's creamy, it blends beautifully, it just does everything, so it's got to be this one for me. For a drugstore option, I have For a drugstore option, I have two that I've actually been really obsessed with. One is my LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Pure Beige, and this is a really good dupe for the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. And then my other favourite has been my Maybelline, the eye eraser, like anti-eye age eraser, whatever it is. That's the one. You've probably seen me use it in every single one of my tutorials recently because I am obsessed. It's so good. I kind of use this to highlight with more so than conceal with, but if it is the right shade for you, then this is a great concealer. Moving on to one of my favourite categories, and that would be brows. I have been obsessed with eyebrow pencils this year. I still use my dip brow pomade, yeah. I still use that to fill in my brows, etc. But I've been loving pencils to give my brows the definition first and then fill it in. So a couple pencils that I've been loving are my MAC eyebrow pencil in the shade Stud. It's really dark, but it's really great for getting like a really defined like outline to your brow. So I like to use that one. My other favorite brow pencil is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, which is super popular. And then for a drugstore option, I have this pencil which I've lost the lid to. It's the Soap and Glory eyebrow pencil, and I use that in the shade Hot Chocolate. And honestly, the the Soap and Glory one is exactly the same as the Anastasia Beverly Hills. Honestly, I can't tell the difference between the two. So again, if you're on a budget, I would just get the Soap and Glory one, and plus they're so much easier to get a hold of as well. So for setting powders, you're expecting me to say the Ben Nye Banana Powder, aren't you? Yeah, I know you are. But I've actually moved away from it. I do love it. It still holds a very special place in my heart, but I don't actually reach for it that much anymore. And that is because I discovered the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. The reason why I love to use this now over the Ben Nye Banana Powder is because it feels so much more like lightweight under the eyes. It's so finely milled, and it honestly does work on any skin tone. I do have another setting powder to mention, and that is purely because I have used it far too much this year for me to not mention it, and it is the MAC Mineralized Foundation Powder, Loose Powder. And I've got this on top of my foundation right now. I like to use this to set my base makeup with, and it honestly is my secret to flawless looking skin. It's amazing. I use it very, very lightly, and it just holds my makeup in place all day, and it just looks beautiful too. For a drugstore option, I've been loving my Soap and Glory Kick-Ass Powder, and I love this because it's so light and finely milled, and it's in a pressed form. It's also got a yellow tint to it, so it's great for setting those highlighted areas, and it's a great dupe for the Ben Nye Banana Powder. For bronzers, there's only ever been one bronzer that has stolen my heart, and it is the Estee Lauder Bronze Goddess Powder, and I use this in the shade Deep. I've had this for 3 years. I've still not hit pan, and I've used it every single day. So it's pretty incredible and well worth the money. Also, the shade for me is spot on. My favourite contour powders this year have been from the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and you get 3 contour shades and 3 highlight shades, and it's amazing because the contour shades have got the right kind of depth and ashiness to them that you need. They're not too warm and bronzery, and the highlight shades that you get in the palette are fantastic as well. A little bit really does go a long way, and I think it's really well worth the money. Oh, and if you're a makeup artist and you're traveling, honestly, I think that these 3 contour shades are pretty much all you need, so it's a great one for your kit. For a drugstore option, my favourite has been this Maybelline Master Sculpt Contouring Palette. I use this in the shade 02 Medium Dark. I've not actually used the highlight shade, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I like it very much, but the contouring shade is such a good dupe for the MAC Pro Sculpt Powder. I've stopped actually using that one because this is pretty much exactly the same and half the price. So this is another one of my favourite topics, and you know it's because I love to highlight and I love to glow. So I will start with this one, and it's the Becca and Jaclyn Hill collaboration, and this is Champagne Pop. Really don't need to go into this too much because, yeah, you've seen it everywhere, I'm sure. It's just incredible and it works so beautifully on my skin tone and all skin tones, to be fair. So yeah, I really, really love this. Another favorite of mine has been the Anastasia Beverly Hills Illuminator in the shade So Hollywood, and it looks like this. It's actually quite similar to the Becca and Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop Highlighter, which is probably why I like it, but it is gorgeous. If you haven't tried it, try it. Yeah, I won't go into this too much again because I'm sure you've seen it all over social media. I do have a drugstore option, and it is the Topshop Glow Cream Highlighter in the shade Gleam. That was such a mouthful. And it's so beautiful. It's really nice and soft and subtle and so easily blendable. And you can totally wear this on its own, or you can pop it on and then put a powder highlighter on top as well. Just depends on how intense you'd love to go. But yeah, you can really build this up on top of your base makeup and it works beautifully, or you can pop this on underneath. As for blushes, there's one that I remember mentioning on my channel really, really early on in this year, and then ever since I mentioned it, I honestly did not stop using it, and it is the MAC Mineralized Blush in the shade Warm Soul. Honestly, when I say that I love something, I really do genuinely love it, and I genuinely do not stop using it. So honestly, this is something that I've used all year. Another blusher favorite of mine has been the NYX blusher in the shade Bittersweet, and it's quite similar to the Warm Soul blush, obviously without the shimmer, but it's a really nice natural kind of blusher shade, which I've been enjoying using. For eyeshadow primers, there's only really one that steals the show for me, and it's the MAC Paint Pot in the shade Soft Ochre, and I love this because not only does it help your eyeshadow last a lot longer on your eyes, stops it from creasing, it's got a yellow base, so it kind of gets rid of all of that discoloration before you start your eye makeup. So it's really good. It also comes in loads of different shades, so if the yellow one isn't for you, you can choose a different one, or you can use them as eyeshadows as well, because they have some like metallic ones. In terms of like a drugstore eyeshadow primer, I don't really have one, but I do love to use the LA Girl Pro Conceal Concealer as an eyeshadow base as a drugstore option, just because it doesn't crease, so it works really, really well as an eyeshadow base. It does exactly the same thing as the MAC Paint Pot. For eyeshadows, I feel like the best ones on the market at the moment are the Makeup Geek eyeshadows. I feel like their quality is second to none. The price is amazing. It's like drugstore prices with better quality than MAC eyeshadows. Honestly, they're that good. In terms of my favorite eyeshadow palette this year, I think you can guess which one it is, and it's because I've used it in nearly every single one of my tutorials. It's the Maybelline the Nudes palette. I think this is amazing. Honestly, it's such a good go-to palette. You can take it with you everywhere. The eyeshadows blend beautifully, they go on really well, they're very intense. What more can I say? Honestly, Maybelline, they blew me out of the water with this one. For eyeliners, I like to use a gel liner, and my favorite is the Inglot gel liner in the shade 77, which is black. And honestly, this is like black velvet. It stays on so well, and it's just so intense. I love this one. And my favorite drugstore option has been the Maybelline black eyeliner as well. This gel liner honestly feels so high-end. It's so creamy, it's so easy to apply, and most of the time I reach for this more than I reach for any other gel liner. It's that good. For mascara, I have been a little bit obsessed with the MAC Upward Lash Mascara. This is so good. It's got a really, really tiny wand, but it does so much. It's so small, but it does like everything. It lifts your lashes, it curls them, it separates them, gives you volume, literally everything you would want in a mascara in one, and good things come in small packages, guys. I'm 5 foot, just saying. If no one got my really lame joke, I was saying that the wand of that mascara is really small, and good things come in small packages, and I'm really small, and just saying. Anywho, I've got drugstore favourites. So, I've been loving the L'Oreal Miss Manga Punky Mascara and the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara, and I love to use these two together. So the Miss Manga Punky one gives me volume and it gives me curl, whereas the Lash Sensational Mascara really separates the lashes out and combs them out, and I like my lashes to look thick and full, yet long and separated. So using these two together really helped me to achieve that look. As for lip liners, nothing beats my MAC lip liners. Honestly, I have looked everywhere and I just think that these are the best lip liners on the market. I love them. So I'm not gonna lie, there's one actually equally as good from the drugstore, and it's the Rimmel lip liners. They honestly match up to MAC lip liners really, really well. So if you're looking for something a bit more affordable, then I would go for the Rimmel ones, although they don't have as many shades. Finally, for lipsticks, I feel that liquid lipsticks have really stolen the show this year, and my favourite has been the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipsticks. These are incredible. They're super matte, they blend really nicely into your lip liner, and they don't feel super drying or anything like that on your lips, plus they last a hell of a long time as well. But for a drugstore option, I have been loving some like normal lipsticks, and it's the Maybelline Creamy Matte Lipsticks. I have the shade Nude Embrace and Divine Wine, and I just find that these lipsticks are so comfortable to wear. Even though they're matte lipsticks, they don't feel dry at all. They do what they say on the tin, they're creamy matte, and they're just really, really great lipsticks. But I think that is everything. So those are all of my favourite beauty products for 2015. I really hoped you enjoyed watching all of my videos throughout the past year. Here's to another great year with loads more videos. I've got so many big things planned for you guys, but I would love to know what your video suggestions are. If there's anything you'd love to see, please do comment down below in the comment section and I'll check those out, and I will get those videos done for you. Thumbs up if you like this video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. All of my social media platforms will be linked down below in the description box, and also don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I shall see you all in my next video. Mwah! Bye!